Welcome to NEK-TV Rocks, and my guest today is Elaine Cole-Kerr, and you're a local artist.
I am.
And you've been many other things too, as we were saying.
I have been.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, I've worked in the food business, and I've done a lot of different things, but mostly in the food business. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, this is food for our eyes. It's a different kind of food.
It is.
So currently you live in the area, and you're an NEK native anyway, right?
I am originally from Lake Willoughby.
Whereabouts?
Westmore. Up on the mountain, the road that takes you from Willoughby up to Island Pond.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun road in the winter.
It used to be. We used to slide down that road in the winter.
But it was great.
The school was down at the bottom of the hill, so we would slide down and go to school and pull our sleds home every night. Yeah.
Oh, what a cool way to go to school.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Willoughby is one of my favorite lakes. It's just so beautiful.
Well, my inspiration when I was a child, where I was born, the
Mm-hmm.
farmhouse that I was born in, I could look out the window and see Lake Willoughby.
Mm.
And it's just a beautiful view from there. So I think that's where all of my inspiration started years ago, which I didn't even realize, but
Right.
yeah.
When you were a kid, were you autistic?
I was. I always liked to draw and color and
Yeah.
yeah. And all my life I've done paintings and different things for family and friends, but work gets in the way.
But didn't think of it as a lifestyle or career.
I did not, no.
How did the change happen, the transition?
Well, I retired in 2015, and my granddaughter called me, and she wanted a Madagascar owl painted for her mother for Christmas. And I said, well, yeah, I can do that.
A commission.
Well, no, it's not a commission. I just gave it to her. Granddaughter, you know.
But it was a commission.
It was. So I finished that, and it just inspired me to move on. And for Christmas that year, I did paintings of all the children's dogs, and they really enjoyed that. So I just started painting, and I haven't been able to stop because I love it so much.
And then you started writing.
I started writing.
Were you always a storyteller?
I don't know as I was always a storyteller, but my inspiration there was our little great-granddaughter was coming, and I wanted her to have something to remember me by. So I wrote The Floating Sunflower. And this is the floating sunflower story. And it's a sweet little story. It tells all about the forest animals and a sunflower. And the sunflower breaks away from its family and floats away in the sky. And all of these animals see it, and they follow it until they get to the end. And then the sunflower goes back to its little family, and they didn't know where the sunflower had gone. And he said, I'm over here, back with my sunflower family and friends. We all need family, friends, and a floating sunflower. And that's how that all came about.
And then you kept doing stories.
Well,
apparently.
I finished that one, and one day my husband's black lab was his best buddy. And I never got to meet him. He went to doggy heaven before I came along. But I've heard so many stories about him. And one day I was dusting off a little picture I had of Buck, and I thought, boy, I should bring Buck back so people could meet Buck. And so that's how this first one, Buck and the Butterfly, came about.
Buck has a series.
I have a series, yes. I'm working on, I'll have the 7th and 8th done soon. And it's going to be a series of 10 books. They're available at the Max Center.
Right.
They're available on my website, my Etsy page. And it's really a fun thing. But, you know, I wanted the children to learn from every book that I wrote. And this one tells all about the monarch butterfly. And it's a very magical story about the monarch butterfly. It's
So you're a
monarchs
teacher too?
Well, I guess I am.
Well, that's a storyteller, that's an artist.
Right.
It's beautifully integrated.
Thank you. Thank you. But it's a lot of fun, and after I get this series done, I have another little book that I'm coming out with, so who knows where it's going to end.
So who's the next series about?
Well, my stepson was out in the woods, and it was in the fall, and he came across this huge tree, and he took a picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the bottom of the tree is a heart, is a hole, and it's heart-shaped. And on the top of the tree is an elongated heart. So there's two hearts that show up on that tree.
Huh.
So I called it the heart tree. I painted it.
Uh-huh.
I did it all in pastels. And I really felt that that tree needed a story. So the next story will be
You're
the heart
giving it
tree.
one. That's
I am.
beautiful.
Yeah,
And this is all in the land around where you live.
it is. Yeah, right behind our house.
Yeah. You live in a beautiful part of the kingdom.
We do. And we're not in Greensboro Village. We're 3 miles from the village, up near Hill Farmstead Brewery.
Which everybody knows.
Oh, yes, everybody knows that. And we overlook the brewery. So we're a little bit higher than they are, and we have a beautiful view of the mountain range. And it's I've painted that mountain range many times.
Right.
Yeah. It changes all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time of day,
Yeah.
time of the week.
Time of the year,
Yeah.
spring, winter,
Right.
fall, yeah. It's all
How
really
did you
beautiful.
get involved in MAC?
Someone asked me if I was a member of the MAC Center, and I said, well, no, I'm not. And so I just looked into it, and they juried me, and they approved me. And so that's how, I've only been with the MAC, I think maybe this is the 3rd year. Yeah, I haven't been there too long. Yeah.
Right.
But I enjoy it. The people are very nice there, and it's a beautiful gallery.
I used to work in MAC quite often, and one of the things I always sort of said about it, because I enjoyed being in there, was I can look at all this beautiful artwork around me. I don't have to own it.
Right.
Because I don't have room in my house for all of it. But it's absolutely gorgeous, and I can be surrounded by it here.
Yes. And such a variety.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for those who haven't been to the MAC Center, and probably some people listening to this won't have been, it's on Main Street in Newport,
Yes.
and it's an amazing place, beautiful creations, all from local people.
It is. I encourage everyone to go
Right.
visit the MAC
Me
Center.
too.
Yes. Yes, and I encourage people to come to my gallery. We have a gallery right at our house in Greensboro.
So they can stop at the brewery and then go to you.
That's right. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my house is full of my artwork, and
bet.
my husband's beautiful frames. He's a big part of my
Right.
business because he does beautiful frames for me.
He made frames before you two came together, or
No, he
did
didn't.
this?
The first frame he made was for me. I can't exactly remember. I think it was for it was for the Madagascar owl, and he did an exceptional frame on that. He took birch wood, and he made a birch frame.
Wow.
And the owl just suited that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his frames.
Thank you.
They're so rustic, and to me that just enhances a picture.
He will go and saw down a tree and bring it home, and
And he planes
cut
it
it
himself.
and planes it, and
Wow.
yeah, he starts right from scratch to make those beautiful frames. So
That's-
there's a lot of work involved in
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people who frame don't go find the tree first.
them. That's true.
I mean, sometimes they salvage from barns or
Right.
floors or.
Right. Well, we have the old barn boards. We have salvaged
Yeah.
from the barns. Yeah, and that's getting harder to find.
Right. Because people want that for many things now.
Right. Yeah. But he has a nice variety of different kind of woods that he uses. And,
Did he work with wood before?
well, he's a plumber. He does the master plumber, and he's always been in the carpentry trades business.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's got those hand skills. You both do.
Yeah, we
Just
both have that skill.
differently, yeah. And both visual, because how else do you fix stuff in the way that you do?
And it's really nice. I'll do a painting and I'll ask him, and we'll decide what matting, if we need a mat for it,
Sure.
and what frame we're going to put on it. So
It's really neat.
yeah, it's we really make a pretty good pair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you teach classes?
I do not. No,
Have you
I
thought
don't.
about it? 'Cause clearly you're a teacher too.
I've been asked to do, like a paint and sip class, but I don't know. I don't know if I would be inclined to do something like that or not. I don't know. But one never knows.
I was just going to say, I
never
would
knows.
never say never, so. And you have the brewery right down the hill who might love you to do a class there.
No, I don't think so. I don't. They don't do that. I don't think. I've
Never
asked.
say never.
I know. I asked him to maybe display some of my work, but he said no because there's so many artists. It would be a lot of different trading out and doing things. And I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my calendar.
And your calendar is always of covered bridges, right?
It is. This is how my covered bridge calendars all came to be. I painted the Fisher Bridge, and it's between Hardwick and Morrisville. It's in Wolcott.
Right.
Yeah. And my husband did this beautiful frame, which suits it really nicely.
He did.
And I asked my sister to come down, and we were looking at all my paintings, and she saw this, and she said, you know what, you need to do all of these, paint your bridges and put them into calendars. And I hadn't really thought about it, and I said, well, that probably would be a good idea because a lot of people love the covered bridges.
They do.
Yep. And they follow them and they visit them.
Right.
So I started in 2021. My first calendar came to be. And I kept painting. And I kept painting because at that time there was about 110 or close to 110. But we've lost some bridges along the way.
Right.
And so this is 2026, and it will go until 2030. But
And
I
then
have
you've
them
run out of bridges.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed doing it. There's a lot of. I don't have any. I just randomly put the bridges inside.
So you have actually checked all of those bridges. Have you been to every bridge?
I have not been to every bridge. I've been fortunate to have photographers who have helped me along the way.
Sure.
I have gone and photographed some of them and painted them, but I have a few photographers who have been very encouraging and very helpful.
Yeah.
And I share their names, in the
That's
calendar
neat.
who help me.
There certainly is a following for covered bridges.
Yes.
And people love them. And there have been a couple of covered bridge disasters fairly recently.
They have been, yeah.
Which is sad.
I know.
But
I know.
they're hard to navigate with modern vehicles, apparently, and crazy driving.
Well, I think the one in Lindenville, they've now conquered the problem because they put iron beams up before you drive into the bridge, because a lot of big trucks have gone in and knocked down that bridge, or tried to.
And you think they still can't?
Well, the iron beam's going to stop them some.
When you look at the gap where big trucks, no matter what the signage is, just keep barreling up and get stuck.
I know. I know.
I have no faith that the support can stop them. It's just amazing to me.
I know.
But your bridges are beautiful. Do you have a favorite?
I would say this is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fisher Bridge. And I'm glad I went down myself and I took the picture of this and I came home and I painted it. And this is the original, the way it used to look. They've redone the bridge now.
Yeah.
So it hasn't weathered, so it really looks
Modern.
modern. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But maybe in a few more years it will start getting weathered again. And
It would be interesting to do a series, the original, current, and one in a few years.
well, you know what I plan on doing is the Sanborn Bridge in Lyndonville,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because that bridge, I remember it as a kid where it originally was. And they moved that bridge over to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And they've taken that bridge down because of the flooding issues. They didn't want to lose it. So it's now sitting just on the ground. But they're trying to raise money to fix that bridge. And I think they have quite a bit. I think they are going to start working on it.
Yeah.
So I want to do the series of how it became started and
Right.
the moving of it and how beautiful it is after they got it all finished. Yeah.
That would be neat.
So it will be just a collage, you know, that I will do.
Yeah. I
So
would bet there are some covered bridge historians around too.
there's a lot of different ones.
Yeah.
There really is, that know a lot more about these than I do. I put information under each bridge and, you know, tell the name of it and
Sure.
a little bit about the truss and different things about the bridge. But many people study these bridges, and
It would be a great partnership, the artist and the historian.
yes, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much work went into those bridges so many years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, and they're still standing. So
Yes,
yeah.
they are. And sometimes you see holes in the bottom and
You
they
do.
get fixed, and holes on the top.
And I love the windows.
yeah.
You know, I actually have done a painting looking through the covered bridge window out at the water. And
Oh, that would be
yeah.
amazing.
And I should have brought that today. My husband did a beautiful barn board frame around that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's been quite a project.
Yeah, and it's
But-
one that clearly will have no end.
Well, when I get to 2020, 2030, the calendar will have an end because I'll be all done on the calendars. And in 2030, there may be 5 that I finished up with, and then I put in some of my favorite bridges that I thought were really beautiful. And I've named my sister as helping me out at the end. I lost my sister in 2023, so, but she was my inspiration for that.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to memorialize someone
Yes,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What's
So-
your favorite? I mean, you have so many different modalities that you work in.
I do. And
Do you have a quote preferred style, or is it whatever has grabbed you in the moment?
it's what grabs me, what my eye catches, and what draws me in. I usually start my work. Yes, my husband sometimes 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning I'll get up if I'm really inspired, and I start to work on something. And it'll take me, I work until I'm finished. I'm not one that put it away and pick it up some other day. So it will take me anywhere from 3 hours to 8 hours sometimes, but I am pretty consistent, and I want to see that painting done. Yeah. There's a couple that I've been
I was
working on
just
there.
thinking I'm going to grab this one, which is of birds. I'm going to hold it that way so that other people can see it. Obviously, I'm drawn to pictures of birds.
Well, these are all of this is our family in the summer. They all come back
Right.
to visit.
And they're
So-
wearing their summer clothes too.
They
there.
are. So the other day I was right at my kitchen window, and some of these guys were out there. We still feed the birds, so
Of course.
they were happy. And these come every morning, and this morning they were cooing to me and singing a beautiful song. So I thought I needed to honor my birds. This one, of course, needs to be matted and framed, but it will really all come together really nicely. And I always stamp all of my work on the back. So, and that big one there is,
Yeah, whoops.
This is my latest. This is, and this mat is just a temporary mat. I just
Right.
is a lot of it's done in pastel, and
And the insects too.
yeah, the bumblebee and,
Yes.
and the butterflies. Yeah. So that would be really nice once my husband gets the frame put on that one.
That's a big piece to frame.
It is.
That'd be a heavy, beautiful picture when it's done.
It will be. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have wall space at MAC as well as shelf
I do.
space.
I do. Yeah, I have some paintings hanging up there in MAC. My books are all at MAC too, and I have note cards. These are my note cards,
Yeah.
and these are just. I brought some of the flowered. This is one from that painting.
Right.
Yeah. And this one is
The
my
lily.
lily, with a little butterfly at the top. And this one is my sunflowers. I love sunflowers.
Sunflowers,
Happy
right.
little sunflowers. There's another
Little
one of my
birds.
birds. That was actually a very nice painting, and that was like in a window with a window frame around it. It was really neat.
It's a tree of life.
It is. That one ended up down in Florida, I believe.
Nice.
And this is the Gateway in
Right.
Newport. And my loon.
I love loons.
Yeah.
And you're doing a book signing at MAC.
I'm doing a book signing, yes, July 10th from 10 to noon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
People can
I'll
come
have all
in.
of my books there, and people can come in and I'll discuss
Get an
them.
autograph
I'd
on the
love
book.
that.
Yeah, which is really neat. And it's really neat for whoever is gifted the book that they can say, and it was to them.
I have people who are collecting those books. And of course, it's a series, so every year they buy a book for their grandchild or their children. And I also have, I'm in the Stowe bookstore. I'll be going over there August. It's listed, but I can't remember what day it is in August. And I will be signing books over there. I've done that quite a few times, and it's really a lot of fun. And the kids come in and they look at the books, and one little boy who's about 9 years old, he came in and he looked at my book and he looked at his dad and he says, "I got to have this." And then he looked at me and he says, "I've never met a real live author before." It was so sweet.
Oh, that's so nice. And an artist, which is more impressive. But the author probably for him.
It was for him, yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
And there's other bookstores who would probably love to have your work too.
I have a book at the bookstore in Hardwick. I have some books in
Yeah.
there. I've never done a book signing there. I need to contact them and we'll
And
probably
Montpelier.
arrange that. Montpelier, yes, that's another one I could do.
And we have a bookstore here in Newport,
Yeah,
which is a lovely bookstore.
yeah. I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
Just in case you had enough spare time. You sound pretty busy.
I do keep busy. The summer is obviously more busy than the winter time, but the winter time I just hunker down and paint and
Well, that's busy.
yeah. And not only am I busy doing this, we're busy getting our wood in for the year.
Oh,
So
tell me about it. I have just stacked ours. You know,
that's what we were doing last night, bringing it in and stacking it. and-
right.
yeah.
It's a necessary evil.
It is.
I no longer think of it as, quote, therapeutic or beautiful in its own right.
Or great exercise.
I've tried that one too. It's, oh yeah, right. It's
Right.
just got to finish it.
I'll tell you, I've got a black and blue here and a black and blue
Yeah,
here.
exactly. It's amazing. However, we do love our wood heat in the
We
winter.
do. There's nothing like that wood heat in the
I
winter.
know. It's really true.
And we have the radiant floors too, which makes our
Oh.
floors nice and warm.
Oh,
so-
we don't.
You don't?
No, we're primitive. My house was built in 1820. And
Oh, wow.
a lot
Yeah.
of stuff has not been modernized, but we still love our wood heat.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, I really don't appreciate the work that comes with it. But we still keep going with it.
Well, we take it right from the log, and
You split your own.
My husband and my stepson, they cut it up and we split it, and we have a wood splitter, which is helpful.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just put it away, and then we carry it out in the ashes at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we use the ashes.
Yes. Yeah.
They're great in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
presume you have a garden and that many of your paintings are based from your own garden.
We used to have a big vegetable garden.
Yeah.
We do not do that any longer. I have a raspberry bed and blueberries and flowers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go to the farmer's market and
Which is a really
helping
nice
someone
way to
else.
support others.
sure.
But it's so nice to pick your own tomato.
It is. It is.
Cucumber, peppers.
But I found that everything came at once, and it
Of
was
course.
a lot to tend to.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
But that's part of the pleasure of living here.
It is. Yeah.
Have you ever lived anywhere else other than the Northeast Kingdom?
I've lived all around Vermont,
Yeah.
and I've just spent a few weeks in Florida. No place I'd ever want to live.
I feel the same.
And I've visited a lot of different places, but I've never found anything that I like better than home. No place like home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
So
a lovely place to be.
it is.
We
Yeah.
have 4 seasons and every day. And
And it changes every day.
It does.
Lately, a lot of rain every day.
It can change within moments.
It
here.
can. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
it's-
very lush. We have a lot of green, and I love the spring because I love all the different shades of green.
yeah.
Spring is my favorite time of the year.
Yeah. I mean, the way the greens come in is gorgeous because they're all so different then, and then they
Right.
start to blend.
Yeah,
I love the fall colors,
I do too. Yeah, I
but
do
I
too.
prefer that didn't mean the
What's
next
coming.
season. And it's not that I don't like winter, I do.
I know.
But
Well, you swim in the winter.
I
so-
do, but that's because I'm crazy.
But well, we all have a little crazy in us, I think.
I think so, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
It's. I mean, isn't that what gives you inspiration?
It is.
That little
and
edge of lunacy.
I said to my husband, because if you come to visit my gallery, you'll see that I get very inspired, and I have
Sure.
a lot of different paintings on my wall, and
Yeah.
I said to him, I said, I just can't stop painting. I enjoy it. And not all of my paintings are framed and put on the wall.
Right.
And I don't know what will happen to them after I'm gone, but I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So that's all I can say.
And I would sort of imagine that if it mattered to you what happens after they're gone, that somehow would take away the pleasure. It's because for you it's the doing, the
It is.
creating.
It is. Yeah. But I told him, I said, I want to have when I leave, I want to have a big party. And I said, people, right at the house, and people can walk in the house. And if they see something that they love, something that catches their eye,
Take it.
take it and remember me. That's all I ask.
That's really neat. Yeah, and obviously you give stuff away as
I
well as
do.
selling it because your family,
Well,
your
it's
commission.
No, I do give things away, and people call for a donation, so I donate to different things. It's good to give.
It is.
It's very good to give.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you're talking, I was thinking, wow, your series of books would be wonderful as part of some of the animal rescue organizations. And I'm not suggesting you give them, I'm
Right.
truly not saying that.
Right.
But they would be a wonderful fundraiser.
They would be. I don't know how to contact them for that, but
I do.
You do? Oh, okay. We'll talk to you.
Yeah. No, that had not crossed my mind before, but that would be wonderful.
Well, like I said, every book that I write, the children learn about that animal.
Right.
They learn how Buck is so kind to the animals, and Buck met the skunk, and that was not a very good meeting in the beginning, but they turned out to be okay friends at the end.
Exactly. They learn to respect boundaries.
And the skunk explained to Buck, why he sprayed him, and yeah.
I have a cat that learned a similar lesson.
Oh yes.
And they can both hang out within the vicinity, but
don't get too close.
she doesn't push it anymore. And clearly she pushed it. And so did the skunk.
And you had to deal with it.
Yeah, I did. It was not one of my favorite experiences,
No.
but So we're about out of time. This was fun.
It was fun. I've enjoyed this. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you for asking me.
You're very welcome, and probably we'll meet again and
Well,
do
if you're
something
coming
else.
to my book signing,
I probably
I
will.
will see you
And
there.
I actually would love to come and look at your gallery.
I'd love to have you.
Yeah, that really sounds like fun.
I'm there most every day, but
Well, I presume you do it by appointment. Choking
well,
myself.
I think making a phone call to me and just saying, I'd like to stop in,
Yeah.
just because I'm out in the country. So if you drive all that ways and I'm not
It's
home,
really silly,
it's a little
right.
disappointing.
Yeah,
but-
and that's a trip that's worth making in good weather.
I'm also on Facebook. I have a couple different sites, Cole-Kerr Originals. I post my work, and Vermont Paintings, and Elaine Cole-Kerr. All those different sites that you'll see a lot of my work on there.
That's great. So
Yeah.
you're maintaining 3 Facebook pages.
I am.
Wow.
I have a lot of followers, people.
Yeah, sure.
So they enjoy it, and they encourage me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
So
important.
it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you.